Hey, I love therapy, and in fact, I've been going to therapy since I was around 6 years old. Though I talk about therapy a lot and may interview some therapists on the show on occasion, nothing that is said in this podcast should be considered a replacement for therapy. If you are struggling, I urge you to please seek guidance from a therapist because you are absolutely worth it.
Dalton, and I am here with one of my dearest friends in the world, Laura. Laura, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm a little nervous.
It's okay. You're going to be great. We're a few glasses of wine into
we
so
are.
that will
we are
help.
Indeed, and some delicious Chinese food. So.
Yes, we warmed up. So we're here today to talk about dating.
Yes.
So you've been in the dating scene for a while now.
A long time.
And you have some thoughts.
I do. Yes, specifically. Dating as someone who's not white, particularly an Asian woman. It's a very interesting landscape.
Yeah, so let's start off. You tell me a little bit about you and your history. Not like where you're from, obviously. We'll play into things later. I'm getting ahead of myself there. One of many awkward questions that you have been asked. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming we'll get to. But you tell me as much as you want the listeners to know about yourself, what you do, who you are, etc.
Yeah, so I am a Midwest native. I moved here, it'll be 15 years.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
I remember when you were celebrating your 10 year.
I know.
That's wild.
I celebrated my 10 year in 2020, so obviously I could not celebrate how I wanted to, but no, I moved in August of 2010.
Wow.
So I just graduated from college, and a friend of mine was coming here to go to grad school. I was like, come be my roommate. It's like, all right, why not? Because
sure.
I'd never been to Philly, but I obviously have loved it, and I've made lifelong friends that have allowed me to stay here and build a really great life here. And I happened to run into a fellow Michigander.
Yeah, right?
At my job, randomly.
Well, that was funny, too, because, it was one of those things where it was, a friend crush.
Yeah, exactly.
Listeners, do you know when, you meet somebody and you're like, I'd like to be their friend, but, I don't know how to, do it? We were both doing that.
We were both doing that because people in our office were like, you should meet her. And they were saying to you, you should meet her. You're both from Michigan.
Yes.
And I didn't even know that you were from East Lansing. So I went to school at Michigan State University, which is in East Lansing. And we must have crossed paths.
We must have been in the same bar at the same time.
We had to have been, because, our time overlapped. But we didn't know that until we met each other in, 2016?
2014.
2014, yeah.
2014. I moved here in 2014 and started working at that company shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
But we didn't become close until maybe 2016.
Yeah, maybe
that's when we started hanging out.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm measuring from.
So.
But yeah, so I've been here for a long time. I work in the publishing industry. I'm in academic publishing. Whenever I say, so this is a funny thing on dates. So obviously they'll ask you what do you do? I'm in publishing, and everyone lights up. It's because they think what they see in movies, commercial publishing, where it's you're a Miranda Priestley, or you're a Jude Law on a holiday or something.
All of the journalists and all the rom-coms.
Yep. All of them carrying their proofs around, which I have actually done. I've carried issue proofs around. So I do have my main character moment with that kind of situation. But then I have to immediately follow up when someone asks me that. It's no. It's academic. So it's the way I phrase it, or the way I frame it, it's when you watch the news and they say a journal study said this. That's what I published, and they're oh, okay, but they still think it's cool. So it's okay.
And it's funny because now I'm no longer in the official publishing field, but I frequently in my research and references am referencing your current publishing company and the two publishing companies that we worked at together previously. So that's been fun. Okay, so tell me about what were your first few dates in Philly like?
Oh my God! So
was there culture shock moving from the Midwest?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, because not just culture shock, but just age shock, I want to say, because I had just graduated from college. So my previous dating experience was college. So I was coming from that, moving to a new city. I was just a few months away from turning 22. I was 21 when I moved here. Like, that's very young.
Wild.
That's very young, and thinking like that, like, it's wild to me. But I was moving to a city that I didn't know. Like, my experience or my exposure to Philadelphia was It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Which is not... It's a great show, but, it's
somewhat accurate, but it's a very niche accurate.
Exactly.
For sure.
So, I don't know. I didn't actively start dating. Like, it's not like I sought out dates when I first moved here, because I was just getting to know it.
Yeah.
I was trying to find a job.
You didn't know if you were going to stay, probably.
Exactly. I didn't know, like... I didn't get my job at my first company until 2 months in. So I was working retail before that. I wasn't sure this was going to last. I thought I'd be back in Michigan after my money ran out, if I didn't find a quote-unquote real job.
Big girl job.
Exactly. And so it was like, I wasn't even thinking about dating. So basically my first exposure to dating in Philly was guys approaching me at bars, which is not the greatest, but I thought in my youth, being like also 21, and the bar scene was relatively new to me, and especially in a big city, it's like, oh, this is great. Yeah. Like, I'm getting hit on at bars, like
a real adult.
Like a real adult. Like, oh, and it's also like in this big city, like, oh, am I standing out in this big city? It's like, probably not. It's just guys, like, college guys.
Guys are really good at making us feel special.
Yeah.
Like,
especially in a bar setting. And obviously, being that young, I didn't know, and also being new to the city, I didn't know, like, what the quote-unquote good bars were.
Right.
So I just went to whatever ones.
Oh my God, where were you going?
Oh my God. It exists now again in a different form, but there was one in Old City called Lucy's Top Hat.
I've never been there.
I think it closed by the time you and I were close.
Okay.
Because it was the most divey of dive bars. Okay. But Mac's Tavern, actually.
Oh, yeah,
bring
yeah.
It back to
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. I'm doing heart hands right now. That just closed, but that had literally opened the summer that I moved. So I kind of like clung to that. It's like, oh, I'm going to go here because it's a good bar, and it was actually okay. I don't remember the names of other places I was going to, but they were just...
Sounds like a lot like Old City stuff, though.
Old City, a lot of Irish pubs, because they're very
they're easy.
Abundant here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if it was just... I don't know, maybe the city was younger, maybe it was just because it was 2010/2011 into 2012.
Yeah, before things were really
before
awful.
Before things devolved into what they are. We don't need to get into Lord. But the kind of guys I was running into, I don't know if it was just my bias because I was fresh out of college and new to the city. They all seemed like college guys. They all were what I was used to, like frat guys or like just that kind of like young crowd.
So were they younger than you, or were they just that same vibe?
Just that same vibe.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
They weren't younger. They were probably about my age, if not older.
Okay.
Yeah, but then like the dates I would go on, I didn't have a lot of relationships out of those. I would just go on a lot of first dates. Yeah, I think it was just a lot of me not knowing any boundaries whatsoever.
That's
like,
a woman. That is very typical.
Especially as like a young woman in a new city. The attention was just like, okay, great.
Because we're taught by the goddamn patriarchy that that's what you should strive for.
Yes, and you should be. And I was like, I think and this just kills me now, but in my young mind, I was like, I'm grateful for this.
Yeah, I know. I feel
sucks.
You. I feel you
and
there.
Like I don't feel shame about it because like that. Of course, I would feel that, but I hate that that's what kind of drew me to keep on dating and keep on going out with guys who's like, I don't think we actually connect. I think we just met each other in a bar and thought, oh, they're cool.
They're cool. They're cute. Whatever.
Yeah, and they've asked me out, or or we vibed in a dark bar.
Yeah, when we were both probably very drunk.
Very drunk. Yeah, but that was kind of it. And then as I kind of got older and got a little bit more intentional with dating, it was still kind of a shit show because that was when it's gonna age me even more. Like dating apps were not huge when I first moved here.
No,
it's only been in the past like 7, I want to say, years, like before 2019.
Yeah,
way before the pandemic. But like I want to say like 2016, 17.
I think that's spot on actually, because my two exes ago, we broke up in 2017. And the first time that I got into a dating app was then in 2017. But I know that it was big before that.
It was.
So I have to think that it, like 2016,
that was
2016
that was
like
the real boom of it.
But I also remember that the first Uber I ever called was here in Philly.
Yep. Same. Like I got onto Uber when it was still just a black car service.
Yep.
And I used it because I was still living in St. David's.
Yeah.
And I would use it to get to the airport.
Yep.
Because it was always early morning. But yeah, so that was the early time of Uber. Tinder had been around for a while. Okay. To the point where I knew I didn't want to use it. Yeah. Because it had already established itself. It's like, it's just a hookup app. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I don't want that. So, but then Bumble came around. Hinge was not around. But it was Tinder and Bumble. So I got on Bumble. And obviously their whole thing is like, the girls ask the guys. Yeah. Or message them first, basically. And I already am not good at that. Even now, like, I get uncomfortable. I'm a little bit better about it. Better in the sense, like, I don't have as much embarrassment. Or, you know. I guess it just comes from experience. Like, if I get rejected, I get rejected. Or, you know, like, whatever, I'm fine.
Which, like, guys have gotten really used to.
Exactly.
They shoot their shot and they're like, what sticks?
Yep, exactly, yep. And I rarely do that. I rarely approach. Yeah. But back then, even more so, Bumble was a hard app for me to navigate. But that's what I did. That's, like, how I kind of became, quote-unquote, intentional with my dating. It's like, okay, well, I do actually want to meet someone. I don't want it to be in a bar, because I've done that now for years. Yeah. And it's like, okay, I'll give this a try. But then it just was like, I'm still meeting the same guys. They're just not, we're just not connected. Like, I know more about them because they're on the app, but it's still kind of like meeting someone in a bar that they can put forward whatever they want in a bar. Yeah. They can also put forward whatever they want in an app. Yeah. And I was discovering that with Bumble. I didn't at first. Like, I was on it for at least a year before, and I went on a few dates before I kind of realized, like, it's kind of the same thing. Yeah. Like, and I was very against apps to begin with, because it kind of felt like, to me, like, ordering a pizza.
Yeah, kind of just what.
Like, trying to, like, oh, I can just pick and choose what kind of guy I want in this app. Yeah. But obviously, that's not it at all.
It can be. It depends on how you use it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's very true. It depends on how you use it.
I think it also, the apps, like, how to say this, like, it made me feel certain ways. Not how I was using it, but how I was interacting with other people made me feel. The way that other people were using it felt like ordering pizza. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I don't know. I have a love-hate. I mean, obviously I met my partner through the apps, so, like, great, but...
The apps are hard because, like, yes, because I have several friends I know who met their friends through the apps. Like, you and your partner, a very good childhood friend of mine, like, she met her husband through Tinder.
Oh, wow. So that's even more impressive.
That's even more impressive. I have other people who have had very successful relationships from apps, and some who have had successful relationships from, you know, being set up by friends or just meeting out in the wild. Like, I don't know. So I think now, especially, there's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no, like, oh, you're definitely going to meet someone if you go on an app, or if you're definitely going to meet someone if you go out there and just try to meet someone. Right. But yeah, my initial kind of intentional foray into dating in Philly was through apps and things like that. Yeah. And it didn't obviously yield anything. I didn't get any long-term relationships out of those.
And you take breaks too, right?
Yeah,
like,
and I take breaks.
I think that's really important to be able to just go, I do not have the bandwidth for this nonsense. Yeah. Right now. It's too much and I don't want it.
Precisely. Yeah.
So let's talk about just in general. What are some of the worst dating stories you have? This can be race related or not. And I know some of these obviously, but this is for the listener.
The first one that springs to mind, because it wasn't, like, horrible in the traditional sense. It was just so many bad dating tropes rolled into one date.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
It was almost like the guy was going down a list of, like, what you're not supposed to do.
Is this the one that was at Charlie Was a Sinner?
Yes. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
I know this one.
Yep, you know it. Because it's one I've told, because it's just, And it started off it didn't start off promising. Like, the way I met him was promising. But then it's just very quickly just was not. Right. So he was late first with no, like, communication. He was half an hour late. He's actually the reason why I have, like, a personal rule. If a guy's running late and I've not heard anything, I'll sit for, like, half an hour. Yeah. And then leave. I don't care if he's about to walk up to the door.
That's generous. In college, it's 15 minutes.
I know. I feel like it's generous. But, yeah, so first he was late. He ordered for me.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Like, he was late, so I had already ordered a drink, and it was, like, I think it was probably old-fashioned or something. Or, like, Charlie does great cocktails, so it was probably one of their, like, cocktails. But it was clearly not, like, a beer or, like, a glass of wine, like, something like that. But he sat down late. The waiter came up. And he ordered us, like, 2 beers. I'm like...
At Charlie Was a Sinner?
At Charlie Was a Sinner.
Interesting.
Yeah. And on top of that, he was rude to the waiter.
No.
Super, super rude. To the point where, like, I was embarrassed. Like, I think... Something he had to do... Well, something... His job had to do with... Like... I want to say fashion. It was more like he worked at, like, a place where... They sold, like, suits.
Maybe he was in, like, marketing.
Yeah, something like that. Or, you know... But he came dressed in a suit.
Okay.
So, and that's how, like, when I met him, he was also, like, clearly coming from a happy hour or something. This is, like, late at night. In a suit. So he, I guess, considered himself some kind of fashion connoisseur. I don't know. It was so ridiculous. But he started, like, correcting the guy's uniform. It was so weird.
The server?
The server. And Charlie, they have a uniform of it. It's all black. They wear a black tie and have a silver tie bar. And he, like, reached out to the guy because his tie bar was, tilted or something. And it was, like, not straight. And he, like, adjusted it and was, like, it was weird.
No. Jesus Christ.
And then the cherry on top was just, he was very handsy. Like, he was just all up in my personal space. It was just... I feel like people are going to be like, well, he was trying to sabotage the date. Maybe he came on the date, but, like, no. Because he was so smug about it the whole time. He really thought he was killing it. Like, he really thought, like, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to... I think it was probably, like, a very... Now we would call it, like, you've listened to Andrew Tate or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
very much to, like the game. The book, The Game.
Exactly. Like,
negging,
a dating coach kind of situation.
Gentlemen, don't do that.
Don't.
We see through it, and it's not cute.
We know exactly where your sources are coming from.
It's not.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
This was years ago, and that was not a thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like he probably had success with that approach and thought that would work. But that was probably... And oddly enough, that was, like, not even race-related. Like, it was just a really... Just trope after trope of that date.
You're just like, is somebody filming this?
Yeah. Like am I being trolled? And is this like
on candid camera?
Yeah, am I being punked right now to bring it all the way back?
Speaking of, like, the race component, though, because I feel like you have a lot to share there. What are some common stereotypes that you encounter in dating, and how do you handle them?
Yeah, so I would say there are 2 big ones that I've encountered. The biggest one, which I'll talk about next, is definitely the behavioral stereotype of Asian women.
Yeah.
That they are quiet, they're docile, they're, you know, very willing just to do whatever they're told. And then the other one is just the umbrella of Asian. Yeah. Of just assuming that you're one thing. And I'm not saying, like, if you're not familiar with the cultures, or, you know, if that's just not what you've been exposed to, I don't expect anyone to be able to be like, oh, you're Japanese, or you're Chinese, or you're Korean. Like, I have trouble with that sometimes.
I mean,
everyone does, if you're not familiar. But if I have specifically, or explicitly told you, like, this is my background, and then you continue to put me under that umbrella, then it becomes a problem. Yeah. Because it's like, well, you just don't care about
nuance.
Yeah. Or getting to know me personally.
Right.
Because that's, you know, it's part of my identity, you know, that I'm specifically Korean and not Chinese, and I'm telling you this, and I'm sharing this, and, you know, guys will ask, like, you know, where are you from? What are you? Where are you
from?
Where are you from? Like, that's...
And you're like, I'm from Michigan.
I will. There have been so many dates where it's like they've done like, but where are you from? You know, it's like what actually is it? And I'll just keep saying Michigan. I'll just keep being more specific, like this part of Michigan.
Yeah.
This town. This township.
This intersection.
This intersection. Just keep more specific. And they just start to short circuit because they don't know how to say it without being racist.
Exactly, because they know that if they were to say it the way that they wanted to say it, that it would cross into racism territory. 1000%.
Yeah, and let me just give an example of this. Like, it's interesting when I go on a date and they ask, and I say it, or I tell them, and they ignore it or something, or, you know, sometimes they do. Like, some guys are good with it, and they're like, okay, cool, tell me about that. Mm-hmm. What's most interesting is when I've met someone, either matched with them on an app or something like that, and they just come in, like, right off the bat, like, you are assuming I'm this one culture or this one thing. Yeah. So the example I want to give is I matched with some guy, I think this was Hinge by this point, and we talked for a little bit, and we went on a first date to Chinatown. And I was like, great, I love Chinatown. Mm-hmm. Like, they have great restaurants.
Was that his call?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. So this is where we're going. So it's like, there are a lot of great restaurants, but
we just ordered from one.
We just had a great one. We'd had some great dumplings. It was wonderful. So there are great things in Chinatown. Like, I've eaten there several times. I've, like, gone out to bars there. It's wonderful. I love Chinatown, and thank God they are not destroying it.
Oh yeah. No, I'll attach a link in the episode notes about what we're referring to.
Yes. But he took me deep into the heart of Chinatown, to a restaurant where it was clear, like, they do, like, there were takeout orders going out, so people do eat there, and they had obviously good food there. People who were sitting in the restaurant were clearly locals.
Okay.
Barely anyone spoke English there. My date was white, and he basically was like, brought me there thinking I could help him have an authentic Chinese restaurant experience.
Oh my God.
Because he was like beaming. He was like so proud of himself for choosing this place. And at no point did I say I was Chinese. At no point in our conversations did I say, oh, I'd love to go to Chinatown to this place or whatever.
That is like the levels of
it's an onion of offensive. It's yeah. Like, I felt so uncomfortable. Because people were, I remember vividly, they were looking at us like, what are you doing here? Like, are you here to pick up an order?
And it's not like, so, to clarify, it's not like he has an appreciation for, like, Chinese culture.
No.
And goes there all the time.
Right. No, it was like he was waiting for a quote-unquote umbrella Asian for him to go to this place so that he could experience it.
So you were his tour guide. Or so he thought.
Or so he thought, yes. Or, and I guess this is a more extreme way of looking at it, I was so embarrassed. It's like you're looking at like you're treating them like zoo creatures.
Yes.
Like, they're an exhibit for you to stare at and experience. It's like,
you want, like, an authentic experience. Like, what does that mean?
What does that mean? What does that mean to you? And so, unlike, like, the bad date I was just talking about, where I didn't, like, there were several times during that date where I should have gotten up and left. But I was young, so it's like I didn't know how to do that. I didn't feel safe doing that. I didn't
100%.
And that was a time where it's like I didn't think you could just get up in the middle of a date and leave.
God, being in your 30s is great.
I know, it's so great. Now, if it's bullshit, it's like, bye.
I don't have time for this. I could be at home by myself.
Yeah. It's like, you're insufferable. Please let me leave. In this instance, I was like, we have to leave.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we can eat here.
Yeah.
And the date ended very quickly after that. I don't think we actually ended up even getting dinner. Okay. Because he looked so disappointed. Ugh. Like, he was, like, I feel like he was mad at me
for ruining his
wonderful
experience.
date plan. But yeah, so it's that. So that's number 2 on the
worst
on the worst
scale.
list.
That's pretty bad.
But the biggest one that I get is the behavioral one, where the men will come in with expectations of, like, well, they have a certain thinking about Asian women, but they don't talk very much. They don't, like, they're just going to say yes to everything. Like, Like, I remember a date that I went on, I actually had the guy say to me, like, I didn't think you'd talk this much. And we were talking about him. Like, he was talking the whole time. And I would ask questions, and I would try to, like, when he would tell me a story or something, or tell me about himself, I would try to interject with my own, just to, like, relate and have a conversation.
Yeah, so like
you
a
do,
monologue.
Instead of just him talking at me, or, you know, or me just talking, like, and him not, because I would say things and he wouldn't ask me anything else about it. He would just launch into his next question.
It's so easy to do a back and forth. What's your favorite color? This color. What's your favorite color? This. How many brothers and sisters do you have? This. What about, like, it's so easy to do that. I don't understand why people just, like, can't do that.
Yeah, or don't expect it on a first date. Like, there's kind of like a script that all first dates kind of follow. Like, you kind of have to, because you're getting to know someone. It's like, what do you do for a living? Basic questions. Where are you from? What's your family like? Blah blah blah. And all of those, though, if it's a good date, will go further into deeper questions where you can get to know someone and decide if you are compatible, or decide if you want to go just on a second date with that person. Yeah. But to sit there and be like, okay, well, I've gone through this roster of questions, or I've said things, and then I respond like I think you're supposed to in the conversation, and then have the person, like, I remember one guy in particular, like, we were like an hour into a date. It was like a happy hour date. He literally set his drink down, let out this big sigh, and said that I didn't think you'd talk this much. Like, I thought you'd
disappointed?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep. Basically.
So again with the layers of disappointment thing, because you have the racism, but then you have the sexism.
The sexism is also there. Yep.
It's like double punch, because you have, like, because specifically what we're talking about is the Asian way. It's like people who watched, like, Madame Butterfly, and then never bothered to learn anything else about a culture other than their own. It was like, this is what this is.
Yeah, it's mainstream media. It's just terrible misogynistic and racist stereotypes that these men, I mean, because I can't help myself, to give them the benefit of the doubt.
That's kind of you.
They haven't been fed anything else when it comes to Asian women.
Sure.
There's been one narrative when it comes to Western exposure to Eastern cultures. And it's just, I mean, it dates back, so I'm not a historian by any means.
No, but
and I don't know history that well, so I'm going to
please share.
Give the most bare bones history of this. It dates back to, like, the early 1900s. It started with Chinese women being basically imported into the U.S. or into the Americas, and, like, basically forced prostitution, forced sex work, forced all of that stuff. And because there was such a language barrier, these women just suffered in silence. So that is, again, to put a very, very basic history on this, because it's obviously much more nuanced, much more in depth, but just to put the context out there, the silence, quote unquote, of the Asian woman is kind of born of that, because they couldn't speak, they couldn't fight back. But then the people who were participating, who were taking advantage of this, thought, well, that's just how they are. And then just kind of grew.
Not even considering, maybe it's how we're treating them.
Maybe it's that we've just torn them from their native land and, you know, put them here and just forced them into these awful abuses. And then just kind of grew steadily with, more like into the 1950s, 40s, 50s, with then kind of like the import of Japanese and Korean.
Right.
And of course, Americans at the time wouldn't make nuance for Korean versus Chinese versus Japanese.
We don't know the difference between all that.
No,
why
and
would
they're
we
all the
bother
same.
to
Like,
learn that?
who cares what country they come from? Who cares what kind of culture they come from?
Right.
They all look the same, quote unquote.
From the same part of the world.
Yep. They all have these distinguishing features that we can just, you know, group under the same umbrella. But that is kind of like the bare bones history of, like, where, like, the silent woman comes from.
So you have the race component. You have the sexism component. But then on top of that, you have the fetishization of those things.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't even know where to go with that.
Well, I do. Allow me to guide you. Because, I mean, I've had bad dates. I've had bad questions. I've had offensive questions. But there are questions that I've been asked, and any Asian woman who's listening to this, I'm sure has had it. I've talked to friends of mine that some of the worst questions are, try to put this as delicately as I can, anatomical related, because there are assumptions that Western white men have about Asian women's anatomy.
Very, very much kind of like redheads get like the carpet matching the drapes type thing.
Very much something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to repeat them.
Yeah. Nor should you.
I
mean, you can if you like. Just say like that's not to say that you can if you don't want to.
Of course.
But it's just to say like why give it air
and I don't want to.
Sure.
It's not even something that I would really talk about with friends because it's just like I don't want to give it air. Mm-hmm. I don't want to put it out there because they're so offensive. They're so vulgar.
Yeah.
It's humiliating.
Yeah.
It's humiliating, but I would get asked these things point blank directly to my face without any hint of shame or thinking like maybe I shouldn't be asking this of someone.
The audacity in bulk.
Yeah, truly. But it's just like even if you don't have an understanding of women in terms of like a physical aspect or Asian women in a physical aspect, why would you ask questions of that to any person?
Right.
Why would you ask something that personal?
Regardless of race or any like sex even.
Yeah. Yep.
Why would you feel comfortable asking?
Yeah. But it comes from that kind of space of I'm being fetishized.
Yep.
And they're telling it to my face. At least some guys have like the decency, if you want to call it that, to try to be subtle about it. But then there are those who just come right at me. It's like, cool, all right.
I'm like scared to ask this, but the percentage of dates that you feel like you've dealt with out of all the dates you've been on, that like where you have some component of race that come into it, what do you think that percentage would be? Just like ballpark.
Do you mean like they went on a date with me because of race? Or,
yeah.
80%.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I knew I didn't want to know the answer.
Yeah. No, but it's a good question to ask because
I hate that.
Yeah. That number would have been a lot lower when I was younger.
Sure.
Because I wasn't aware of it.
Of course.
And part of that was probably self-preservation.
Yeah.
Of like, mentally, psychologically protecting myself from that kind of thing. But as I get older, and it's like, no, I'm not ignorant to these signs anymore. I'm not as inexperienced as I was before. I can see it, and I am quicker to spot like motivations.
Yeah.
And so it's a very high number.
You and I are also very suspicious by people.
Yes, we are naturally very suspicious.
It's the Taurus Scorpio axis.
Yeah,
that makes us very
very. It's where our sister signs come into it.
Yes. Well, oof.
I mean, I think that kind of.
Yeah, I kind of want to move into like how have you dealt with that? Like, how has that impacted self-worth? How have you come up with ways to basically be like, that's inappropriate, or to just you're not under obligation to teach anybody how to be a better person. Just get up and walk away. Like, how has that journey of this experience changed you, and how you have learned to deal with this unfortunate reality?
Yeah, it's definitely taken a long time to learn, and it's taken a lot of, like I said, when I was younger, I didn't know I could walk away from the table.
Yeah.
When things were asked or things felt weird or whatever. The way I kind of deal with it is, just basically like, well, we're going to end the conversation here. And I'm going to go.
Good.
But with that comes also, I can kind of sense when I'm getting those questions, or I'm getting a feeling from someone that they're
warming up to like the hard hitting,
or like
or sexist.
Not necessarily that, but it's like they ask me these questions, like, and I can kind of pluck out now the ones who are like genuinely interested. It's like, oh, I really want to ask you this question about your background or your culture, or being raised, so I'm adopted. My parents are European, so I did not grow up in an Asian household, and that always tends to throw guys for a loop. It's like they assume I was raised heavily in Asian culture, so that kind of also breaks their assumptions of things. When I'm like, no, I was raised in America. I'm consider myself very American. I have like 5 cultures in my background.
No, you really do. Now that I'm thinking about it,
yeah. Because I've got Korean, obviously, British, Dutch, American, and Canadian. Because my relatives, my extended relatives were Canadian. So when someone is interested enough to be like to get into that kind of family aspect and get to know my background, then it's like, okay.
If it seems genuine,
then we can have a conversation and you can talk about, if you have questions, I'm willing to answer them.
Yeah.
But that's only come with lots of dates and lots of questions and lots of people who just didn't care.
Yeah.
And so I've gotten better at spotting the ones who care and the ones who don't. And the ones who don't, I just don't have time. Yeah. And I've just gotten better at boundaries, basically, because boundaries weren't really a thing when I was like first dating in Philly.
Oh yeah, no.
They were, but it wasn't part of the conversation. Not like it is now. So if questions come up where they're deeply offensive or deeply, just ignorant, I do feel more comfortable saying like, that's not an appropriate question. I'm not going to answer that question. Yeah. It's like I understand why they ask. Yeah. And I'll say that. It's like, I get why you're asking. I'm not going to answer that. Yeah. And I can actually kind of use that to gauge, like, okay.
Do they respect that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Will they get mad at me for not answering?
Oof, red flag.
Yeah. Or will they get, like, annoyed? Or will they, like, double down on their questions? Or will they be like, oh, I didn't realize. I didn't know.
Somebody being willing to learn, such a green flag.
It is. Yeah.
So... Well, what about that? What about flags like red, green, race related, not race related, just in general? Like, what are the things that you've started noticing? Obviously, somebody asking where you're from is going to like put your hackles up a little bit and make you a little nervous. But like, what are some other things that you have experienced like in your years of dating that's made you go, this is an automatic like peace out. This is an automatic like this person should be considered.
It's a good question because, ironically, like I have a hard time spotting flags, green or red, for myself. I do it well for my friends. Like I can like spot.
I feel like I'm the same way.
Good things. Like I think that's true for a lot of people. Is just you have a hard time spotting it for yourself, and that's true for a lot of different aspects of life. Like people who can give good advice rarely take advice well. I think it's kind of what I was just talking about. It's just. If they ask something that starts out of ignorance and they're willing to learn, that's a great green flag. Yep. Or if their initial questions for me are not, the classical, where are you from, whatever, but it's just like, what brings you here, or like...
Why are you in Philly?
Yeah, or something from like my profile on my Hinge app or something, or my Hinge profile.
It's so sad that like asking something specific about something that you wrote on your Hinge profile is a green flag.
I know.
But, like, from my friends that are dating right now, the amount of people who just aren't reading women's profiles is really upsetting to me. Like, deeply upsetting on a very visceral level.
It's...
Like, it is not that hard to read a profile. Just bring up something about what... Jesus Christ.
Literally
like,
anything.
I can't.
And it's not like I'm writing paragraphs on my profile that you have to read through and slog through. Like, no, it's very simple. My profile is very simple. Ask me anything on there. Yeah. To prove that you've looked at more than just the pictures on the app.
Yeah. What is Sam, our friend Sam, she calls it smash or pass. She's like, men treat it like smash or pass.
They really do, yeah. Like, and that's also, like, before I even get to a first date, it's like, are they responding to a picture? Yep. Or are they responding to one of the prompts? Yep. And that right there would be like a red or green flag. Yeah. And it's like, and I get like pictures are there obviously because that's just how people sort people, and that's how I do. Like when I look at guys, you can't help it.
You want to look the person in the face that you're fucking.
Precisely. And look, and I probably should have put this whole caveat over the whole conversation. It's like, I am not taking any issue. I'm not condemning or judging if you have a physical preference.
No.
Everyone, you need to be attracted to who you want to partner with.
But if you have a physical preference, you should know how to navigate that effectively for yourself as well as for the person on the other end.
Exactly. Like, you need to be attracted physically to the person and then get to know them on a personal level. So I'm not vilifying anyone who has a specific personal, like, physical preference. Like what features you like.
Sure.
The problem is when it's related to a specific race and you go only after that race, and it's usually a marginalized race. Yeah. That's when it becomes a problem. That's when it's not just a physical preference, like, oh, I like brown hair, or I like, whatever. That's when it's a problem. Yeah. So, like who you want to like, but get to know the person. Because attraction is important, but connection
trumps everything.
Everything. So I don't want anyone to think that I'm judging someone for, like, a personal physical preference, because, we all have that, but it becomes a problem when it's a fetishized race.
It becomes a problem when that's the main thing you're focusing on. Yeah. Like, I don't know, I tend to be attracted to men who are Hispanic and Latino, right? I don't think it would even occur to me to ask, like, a where are you from question on, like, the first, like, 3 dates. Like, I just don't think that's appropriate. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably something that's going to come up naturally.
Exactly.
Like, anyway. So, but what you're talking about almost sounds like, I need to know if you've checked these boxes for me. So I need to know right away to find out if I'm, quote unquote, wasting my time or whatever. It's very disappointing.
Yeah. So that's kind of like even how I sort of filter out who I want to go on a first date with, because this is what I hope this is okay for me to bring up with you and me. When you were first getting kind of back on the apps, and you're like, how do you decide? You're asking me, how do you decide to even go on a first date with someone?
Oh yeah, I didn't trust myself for shit.
Yeah, so you're like, you're good at filtering people out, which I am. It's like, how do you do that? And it's kind of funny. So I really got into Severance this year. Yes. So and good. I really didn't have an analogy for it when I was, like, trying to give you, like, my to be so obnoxious pearls of wisdom about how I filter things. But when I watched that show, it's like, oh my god, when they were teaching Helly, like, when they're trying to sort the numbers, like, look for the evil numbers. I realized when I'm going through my apps and the matches or whatever, I'm trying to find, like, what feels evil. Yeah. What feels, like, not great. And put them into their box of, like, no, we're never going on a first date.
It's like intuition.
It is.
That's what you're talking about.
It's a lot of intuition. An intuition that comes from, just the experience of dating. Of, like, I've gone on a date with that guy. Right. I don't want to date him again. Yeah. I've gone on a date with that guy. Like, I've gone on a date with someone like that guy.
Exactly. Like that
guy. That person.
That guy.
Exactly. It's like,
in the sense.
I recognize you. And I don't want that.
I know what I'm going to be getting.
Exactly.
Maybe that's unfair. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
I know. And I know that's very much, judging based on what you're getting, what they're putting out there. But if my defense of that is, like, on an app, you're going to try and put your best face forward. Yeah.
And if your best face is something I've already seen before and already dated.
Yeah. That's all I need to know. Yeah. That's it. That's all I need to know. Yep. But yeah, I think, to go back to the original question, green flags are just, do they want to get to know me genuinely as a person? Yeah. Because one of the biggest hurdles, and I hope this isn't over talking one of your questions that you're going to bring up later, but one of the biggest hurdles that I have dating as an Asian woman is, like, if I sit down in front of someone on a first date, am I getting the sense that I could be any Asian woman sitting in front of them? That's my biggest thing that I look for when I go on a date. When I've actually decided in my head, like, yes, I want to meet you. Right. We've, like, had a conversation, or I like your profile or something.
Asking, I mean, there's so many other interesting things to, like, know about you. That's like, what show have you seen lately? What are you reading? Like, there are so many things that you can go to aside from that are easy. Yeah. They're right there if you bother to look for them.
Yeah. Like, if you look at my profile, it says very clearly, like, I'm an editor. Like, oh, well, you must like reading. Yeah. Let's talk about books. Or, I mentioned baking on my profile because I like baking. It's like, what do you like to bake? Like, those things. Like, if I'm getting asked questions where they clearly want to get to know me as a person, that's great.
The bare minimum.
I've said it a lot. We all say it a lot. The bar is in hell.
The bar is in hell.
The bar is so far in hell. It is in the embers.
Circle.
It is buried deep beneath the earth of hell.
Dante's Inferno levels of hell.
So many levels down.
It's really, really bad.
But that's kind of what... And I don't like this, but I can't help myself because it's, again, kind of like a self-preservation thing. It's just like, do I need to protect myself mentally and emotionally from this person? But it is that thing of like, do you have an idea in your head of what you think I, as an Asian woman, just based on my looks, should act like? And are you looking at me like just this shell that you want to fill?
Project.
Yep, that you want to fill with whatever assumptions you have, and then are you going to get upset or like offended or whatever if I don't fulfill that, if I am a full person?
It's such an extra layer of
outside
stress.
of that.
Yeah.
And if I get the sense like I could be anyone who looks like me sitting in front of you and you wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And that's when it's like
time to
go. It's like, all right, we're done here. Like, we'll have a drink. We're done.
Yeah. Let you pay for my drink.
Yes, I will.
Now we're
done.
Well, what about so I definitely wanted to get to this. I mean, we've spent so long on every question that I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to skip some here, like, which is a good problem to have in all honesty.
Yeah, that's true.
But
not too much material.
One of the things that you and I have discussed at length, especially in recent years, is the difference between alone and lonely.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I have always been someone who the thought of being alone without a romantic relationship felt really scary to me. And almost, dare I say, to the point where like life didn't feel worth living if I didn't have a romantic relationship.
Yes.
And after my last relationship ended, thank God, Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's
Jesus. After
we're both praising that. Yeah.
After my last relationship ended, I spent a year single, really getting in touch with this thought that, all right, Rachel, what if we look into a crystal ball right now and we find out that we are never going to meet our person? If we know that that is a given, how are we going to live our life? And I lived that way. Yeah. And now I have a partner who is lovely, a lovely human, and wonderful, and I'm very happy to have him, obviously, but I don't fear being alone anymore because I understand that alone is not lonely.
Yes.
So what has your journey been like?
It has definitely been a journey because like a lot of, I guess, millennial girls, women, growing up, you were raised and kind of had hammered into your head that you had these milestones you had to reach, personal milestones you had to reach.
Especially in the Midwest.
Especially in the Midwest.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people who I went to high school or college with who did do all that.
Yep.
They got married, they have the big house, they have the kids, whatever. And that's great. They're all happy, good for them. But that was hammered into all of our heads. Yeah. You need to achieve kids or husband, house, kids, whatever, in that combination of things in order to feel like you've achieved and succeeded. So in my 20s, like all of those milestones were supposed to happen in our 20s. Yeah. That's what I was taught.
That's also what I was taught.
So I really grappled with the idea of loneliness, of being alone, and those being the same thing in my 20s. Because I was passing these things of like, oh, I don't have a husband, and I'm supposed to have one now. I don't have kids. I don't have them now. I don't have a house.
And you were measuring against expectation.
Exactly. I was measuring against what I was told I was supposed to have by now to be happy, to feel fulfilled. But as I got older, I was able to sort of extricate alone and lonely, because I looked back and was like, well, I didn't have those things, but I'm not lonely. Yeah. I was told I'm supposed to feel lonely because I don't have these things, but I don't. So what's wrong? Like, I'm alone, but I don't feel bad about it. Right. Like I was taught to. And what really helped me with that is my mom, because to her credit, she never put that on me. It was more of a societal thing.
Yeah, same. My parents were always wonderful about that.
They were always great about about that because my mom had that pressure put on her by her mother. And she's like, I'm never going to do that to you. Like, go at your own pace.
Yep.
I hated that. I'm not going to do that to you. It's like, thank you, Mom.
Yeah.
So
good parenting.
Good parenting. So, but I mean, I think because she grew up with that mentality, she does worry about me, obviously, because I'm her daughter. And she will ask me, you know, like,
are you dating anyone?
Are you dating, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, and she'll ask me once in a while, like, aren't you lonely? It's like, no, like, I am alone, and this is what we've really talked about. It's like, I am alone, like, solo. I don't have a partner.
Definition, don't have a partner. But I'm not lonely.
Exactly.
I do have bouts of loneliness.
Sure.
As anyone does. But then I fix that, or I fill that kind of void that I'm feeling that moment with friends or with my family or, you know.
Theater, music, baking, like.
Things that I love. Like, I'll take myself out to a movie if I need to, like, be out, but, like, want to, you know.
Yeah, still be alone.
Yeah.
Alone. You know.
Yeah. But, yeah, so the older I get, the more I'm able to be like, I am alone. But I'm not lonely.
Yeah.
I will deal with the bouts of loneliness.
Yep.
And I would love to have a partner. That's what I want. I do want to get married. I do want that kind of commitment. And that will happen.
Yeah,
eventually.
we got to get you over to Europe.
Yes, exactly. I tried. When I went to London in March, I really, really tried to find myself a British husband, but alas, it was not meant to be.
European men are where it's at.
Yes. And to me, I think what really helps me deal with that is the flip side of if I were in a partnership and not by definition alone, but still felt lonely.
You could, exactly. And that's the thing. And I mean, we're both Buffy lovers here,
yes,
right? Like,
course.
there's the Cordelia chase quote, which is in season 1, actually. I think.
1?
Yeah.
That early was she?
Yeah.
That was
that like little pearl, right?
I know.
She says like, you think that I am never lonely because I'm popular and cute and smart. Like, I can be surrounded by people and feel lonely.
Yeah.
And
that's exactly it.
I think about women who are in relationships where they feel lonely. It's where they're married, they have on paper everything that they're supposed to have, but they feel lonely. But then I also think about, and I had this conversation with somebody recently, actually, men who are taught that their emotional fulfillment should come from their partner. And so frequently, men don't have emotional connections with other men, or other women, for that matter. And
women who they're not related to.
Exactly, or that they don't want to fuck.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. They can't connect if they don't want to fuck them.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. But this idea, like, that there's this male loneliness epidemic, and it's like, well, of course there is, because you don't have emotional relationships with anybody. You're putting that all on your fucking partner.
Yeah.
Or the partner that you're looking for.
Yeah. Or, yeah, that's a big thing. It's like, the partner that you're looking for, a lot of men are like, who can emotionally carry me through life?
Right.
So it's not like every man has that problem, but more often than not, it's like a lot of men can't connect if they don't see a sexual sort of connection there. It's like that's the only way they know how to connect emotionally with a woman.
It's like you're taught that, like, okay, well, your emotional world is your wife.
And that's a lot of pressure.
That is a lot of pressure.
To put on one person. Like, I don't put all that pressure on one friend.
Yeah.
Or one family member. Or I won't expect my partner even to carry all of my emotional load.
And that is why statistics show that men's happiness improves with marriage and women's decreases.
Men live longer when they're married. Women live shorter. But yeah, it's absolutely that. And heart to Cordelia. Yeah. Cordelia did not get the credit she deserved.
No, but hopefully she'll be in the reboot. That's the hope.
Yeah.
She just started a podcast.
Did she?
Yeah, she started, like, last week. She started a podcast.
Good for her.
About Buffy. She's having, like, Buffy guests on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like, Julie Benz was on.
Nice.
Juliet Landau is going to be on. She's having, like, a bunch of, like, women from Buffy come on the podcast. So, Justice for Cordelia.
Justice for Cordelia.
Is where we're at.
No, but it's I feel like it's worse if you are partnered or you have a lot of people around you, but you are just lonely.
I agree.
I would rather be alone and not be... and just have my bouts of loneliness that I can fix myself.
Yep.
Then think, like, I have to cling to this person.
Yep.
Because then I won't feel lonely. But I do anyway. It's very much like what you just said, like standing in a crowded room.
Yep.
And you're alone.
And you just feel desperately like no one has your back. Yeah.
Like, you're not seen, you're not heard. I feel like wasn't there an Angel episode where Cordelia, like...
I'm less familiar with that one.
Yeah, you didn't really want... Yeah.
I watched it through once, and then I was like, this is awful. I'm never watching it again.
I feel like there's one episode where at least one where there's some sort of ghost involved. Where
there's lots of ghosts.
There are lots of ghosts.
Are you talking about the one in the fireplace?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You got it. That's it.
It's in season 1, so I know it better.
Yeah, but that's kind of how I
like a mix of loneliness and a cast of Amontillado.
Yes, precisely. We can always bring it back to Poe.
Yeah. Poe and Buffy.
No, but that's really how I kind of grapple with that. Like I do want to be partnered. I do want a partner, and I will eventually find one. Hopefully,
of course you will. You're too incredible not to.
Aw, thank you.
I'm just honest.
But I'm not desperate for it, and I feel like that's when a lot of the problems come.
I agree.
Because when you're, and I'm not saying desperate as in like a pathetic thing. Like, of course, like
no,
desperate in like you feel a need and you want it so much that you're just gonna
cling
to whatever is gonna fulfill that. And sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't. But more often than not, that kind of clinging does not work out. Yeah. You know, and it just makes you feel more empty and alone or lonely than when you were looking for that. And that's not for me.
No,
I will date and I will find.
That's never been you.
No,
you're the opposite of clingy.
Exactly.
You're like, I need you to be a unique individual who feels very comfortable on their own because I like my alone time, and I need you to love your alone time.
Exactly. And I think I'll wait to pour this. I was gonna pour another glass of wine.
No, please pour another glass of wine. It'll add some ASMR ambiance to the
ASMR.
Whisper.
Should we like?
Here, I'll pour a little bit too.
Cut some sort of like crunchy sandwich. Isn't that like? I remember when ASMR. Sorry to go off on a tangent here. Not a tangent. It's an aside.
That's what this is for.
Let me give this a proper
these drinking episodes are what this is for.
Let me give the proper technical term. This is an aside. I remember when God, this is a while ago. I don't even remember her name, but I can see her in my mind. She basically started like eating pickles on camera. This is like one of the first ASMR people.
Oh, was this like mukbang?
Yeah. And everyone called her weird, and everyone who listened to the ASMR to like fall asleep weird.
I remember that, yeah.
That was like kind of the first foray into that. This woman. Let everyone know ASMR is now a huge fucking deal.
Oh yeah.
Even I like it, like not necessarily like the eating ones, but like
I don't love the eating ones. I like the little face massage ones.
Yeah,
those are my favorite. No, I watch those more nights than not. But I remember when I got into ASMR back in like I want to say like 2013, 2014. Like people said I was weird for like liking it.
Yeah, that kind of sound, that kind of like white noise, basically.
Actually, it was my ex-boyfriend at the time, and what I should have said is, well, maybe if you touched me more tenderly, I wouldn't go to the internet. For tender, loving touches.
Was this the one you moved here for?
Yes.
Oh, of course it was.
Yes.
Of course it was. Oh my God.
Yes,
Fuck him.
Yes.
God damn it.
He was like, that's so weird. He also thought that Buffy was a bad show.
Well, that's all you need to know.
Should have known.
Should have cut him off there. Yeah.
Meanwhile, my current partner and I are watching it together. So
exactly. And you were getting to a very important episode.
Very important episode.
Very important episode.
So I feel like I should start a Buffy podcast. In all honesty. Really, truly.
Yeah, but to go back and to close my thoughts here. Yeah, again, alone versus lonely has become a very different thing for me as I've gotten older, and also as I've gotten, I wouldn't say more confident, but more comfortable doing things on my own. Because I have no problem. Like, I think because living in a big city, you can do these things on your own. I can go and sit in a bar and read a book and have a meal on my own. If I like want to try someplace, I can go to movies. I go to New York often on my own to go see shows. I can't wait to share that with someone. That would be great. But I'm not going to stop myself from doing that.
Living the life.
From living a life. Because I'm not ashamed of that. I'm not, and nor should I feel ashamed about doing things on my own. And if I want to do things, I'm just going to go do them. Right. What's stopping me other than my own like self-consciousness?
100%.
You know, I'm self-conscious in other areas of my life, and that's plenty. Yeah. I don't want that. In these
areas of enjoying the things that you enjoy.
Things that fulfill my life. And it's like, if I want to spend my money anywhere, it's going to be on things that fulfill me in that regard. Yeah. As long as I have that income.
Yep.
You know, I'm going to live my life.
Yep.
And not wait for someone to be like, well, you know, let's go do this or whatever.
Yeah.
Blah.
I mean, the way I think about it is like your person's out there living their own life, doing their own thing.
Precisely.
So, like, you should do it too. Like, you should do it too, and then you'll come together and you'll both know who you are.
Yeah.
Each of you are like really well, and
exactly. That's kind of what I think. As I do these things, like I want to bring a fully realized version of myself into whatever relationship I end up in, and I would want someone who I end up with to also bring that. To have lived a full life and not be waiting for me, like we just talked about, to carry some load or to fill something that they don't have,
100%,
and are expecting me to do that in a way that I don't, because I can't read their mind. So but they have expectations. A lot of men do of like what they want a woman to provide in their life,
especially if you're Asian, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Jesus Christ.
A lot of men think that getting an Asian wife will mean like I have a built-in maid, mother,
mommy being maid.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
And essentially, sex worker kind of without the work, work
without being paid, monetarily.
Exactly.
Actually, probably not emotionally or housework wise either.
A free sex worker.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And it's really kind of alarming how kind of blatant that is when I go on dates with certain guys. It's like, oh. I know exactly
why you're here,
what you're looking for. Absolutely not. Bye. And
who knows? Maybe, I doubt it, but maybe there are Asian women out there who like would love to step into that role for you. Like,
I hope you find one. I hope you find each other. If there's a woman out there, an Asian woman out there who wants that, and you want that, I hope you find each other.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to, again, I'm not going to vilify anyone who wants that kind of life. Who has preferences. And especially, like, on the side of the woman. Like, there's the whole trad wife movement.
Not for me.
It's not for me. It's not for me at all. Like, it's not for either of us, obviously. And I don't think
it's for anybody that we know.
I was literally going to say, like, none of our friend group,
no.
none of the women in our friend group would be at all interested in that. But, you know, especially us as Midwesterners, like, we see a lot of that.
Yeah.
Whether they don't call it the trad wife, but they are, like, the traditional wife trope, or role, I should say. If that's what you want from your life, great. It's not for me. You do you.
That's feminism.
Yep.
You get your choice.
You get a choice. That's exactly it. Like, you get a choice. I am choosing this kind of life for myself, and I'm choosing what kind of partnership I'm going to eventually want. It's going to be very different from other people.
Yeah.
Everyone is different. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But don't come at me expecting me to fulfill a role that I don't want. And then don't get mad at me or don't, you know, berate me or
when I don't comply.
Yeah, when I don't fulfill some unrealistic expectation that you shouldn't even have for me when we've just met.
That you arbitrarily projected onto.
Yeah, that you're just coming into this expecting because you have assumptions, incorrect assumptions, based on the stereotypes that you've been fed, and are forgetting that I'm a person.
Right. I'm
a person. I have a nuance. You have nuance. I have flaws. You have flaws. Like, you have to accept that. And yeah, because that's another thing that also bothers me with, like, the Asian stereotypes and Asian fetishization. Words are hard, especially that one. And after several glasses of wine, words are hard. Is that Asian women have no flaws. They are porcelain skinned. They are flawless at all times, and they don't behave badly. They never step a toe out of line. I have had some men being like, oh, if I say, like, any kind of swear word, they're not expecting that.
I've never had that experience.
Really?
Yeah.
That both surprises and doesn't surprise me. It's both.
Well, I think it counts towards the race.
It's a race thing.
Element,
it's definitely a race thing.
Like,
yep. It goes hand in hand not only with, like, I didn't think you talk that much, but also I didn't think you talk like that.
Yeah.
So.
God, people are so disappointing.
Yes, they are.
Well, I feel like we should bring this back to you, though. We're going to be wrapping up here in a minute.
Okay.
So I have 2 more questions for you. The first of which is, what do you wish that you could tell your younger self about dating and self-love? You go back in time to East Lansing in the Peanut Barrel.
Oh, the Peanut Barrel.
In like 2009, 2010. What would you say?
I would say biggest thing is stop trying to be the quote-unquote cool girl.
Whew, yeah, you and me both.
And yes, this is absolutely related to the Gone Girl monologue that we all can relate to, because we didn't have a monologue for that when we were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
When did the movie come out?
I was here in Philly, so I want to say 2015,
yeah,
2016.
I think it's like mid-2010s.
Yeah.
It struck that whole monologue, and look it up if you have not ever heard it. I remember reading it.
I have an entire episode dedicated to it, actually.
Yeah, I know you do. Yeah, because we have talked at length about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely because I'm already a people pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just kind of my default mode. Like, that's... but especially when I was younger and dating, I would just mold and change for whoever I was interested in at the time. Like, I remember the guys I was dating in college. One was very much like a hipster, sort of like early YouTube kind of guy. That kind of mode. One of those. And when I was in dates, like a frat guy. So I became like a sorority-ish kind of girl that would go like date a frat guy. Like, I remember molding myself and trying to be like, oh, well, I like that too.
Yep.
Obviously, oh, sure, I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
Oh, I know that band.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
I would just go back to my dorm and go on
Google.
I know what I'm talking about. But I would tell her to stop that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. Eventually, it's gonna fall apart.
And it's drawing the wrong people to you.
It is, yeah, yep, and it's a false sense of security.
It's a way to try to control something that you can't actually control at all.
Exactly, it's trying to create something for myself that is so inauthentic that like, who am I even? Yeah. Like, I would willingly lose myself in this person I was dating. Right. And that's so bad. Yeah. And I didn't realize that. And then some of that carried through when I moved here. Because I didn't know who I was in a big city.
Of course. You have to redefine yourself. Yeah, that's the beauty and the scary part of it.
Exactly. That was so hard. And so it was so much easier when I was first starting to date in Philly to just lean into whatever the guy was into, whatever kind of personality he had. Because I didn't know what kind of people, what kind of men were in Philly, who I would want to date, how I even fit into Philadelphia and a big city, and kind of trying to get into my like grown up quote unquote life. That would just be like, oh, I like that too. I'm the cool girl. Like, I can hang. Like, you know, obviously.
And then you're like, this isn't me, and then your partner's like, wait, it's not? Yeah. After 4 years, and you're like, no, it's not.
Yeah. Because eventually, as it always does, and I've also seen the flip side of this, where guys will try to be like, totally. Well, I like that, and like, but then the mask drops there too.
My last ex-boyfriend, I consider myself an empath. Hilarious.
Oh my god.
So funny.
Oh.
So funny. Good joke.
Oh, so he's a comedian. You didn't give him the credit for the comedy that he gave us. So I'm not saying it's one-sided. I'm not saying it's just women who do that. But of course. The majority of women will kind of do that. And there's sort of, you know, you want to like what your partner likes, or at least have interest in it, even if you're not totally into it, or vice versa. But when you start changing yourself entirely to bend to their personality and you no longer have your own, that's when it's a problem. And I didn't realize I was doing that until like much later. I don't even know when. I don't think it was like a switch flipped. It was just a gradual kind of like, oh, I don't like who I am.
Yeah. When I'm with this person, I don't like who I am. When I'm with this person, what does that mean about who I actually am?
Yeah. Because I think there were moments where it's almost like an out-of-body experience where it's like you're looking down at yourself acting this way. And like, why am I doing this? Yeah. What is this for?
100%.
Why? Like, who is this person? Yeah. Because that's not me. And I can't keep this up. And I just like, So I would tell her like, stop it. Stop trying to people please to that degree. Yeah. Because I'm never going to stop being a people pleaser.
It's good to be aware of the needs of people that you care about.
Of course.
Obviously. Yeah. Prioritizing their needs over your own is where it gets a little dicey.
Yeah. No, it's definitely that. Stop trying to change yourself, and also don't try to change the person.
100%.
That's also something, because I was also, especially in college, less so when this is kind of funny, less so when I moved, but definitely in college, I was very much like, I can fix him.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this before, because we both went through that phase. Yep. Not proud.
He just needs to go to therapy.
Yeah. He just needs me.
It'll be great if. No.
Yeah, but that was also something like, he can't fix me because there's nothing, like, whatever he thinks he's fixing is not a problem that I have. Exactly. It's just a problem that he thinks I have.
Right.
And I can't fix him because,
Mirror.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are the things I want to tell my...
Okay. Well, last question is basically, like, is there anything else that we didn't... Like, I know we skipped a couple questions that I had sent you in advance. Were there, like, any other points that you wanted to hit on, things that you wanted to share that you felt like you didn't get to?
Let's end on a positive note.
Yeah.
One of the questions that you sent me was about hope.
Yeah.
How do I have hope in relationships moving forward? And I kind of touched on this throughout the conversation. But a lot of that is looking at my friends who are in wonderful relationships. And I've found them through various means, who have set wonderful examples and who have set wonderful goals of, like, I want that. And that's kind of how I stop myself from despairing too much, of getting too pessimistic, because I tend to be... I'm not a pessimist, I'm a realist.
Yeah.
That's what I like to say.
That's fair.
Which, I mean, a lot of people will say, well, realists tend to veer more towards pessimism, which...
That's because that's reality.
Exactly. It's a dark time, folks, all right? It's dark.
The year of our Lord, 2025.
Exactly. Let me veer where I need to. But I need to not dwell in that kind of area of despair, because that's A, unhealthy, and B, unrealistic. To go against my realist sort of thoughts is I need to hope and kind of strive for and kind of create my own, like, manifest, if you will, a relationship that I see my friends happy and healthy in, yeah, because like I said, I do want to get married. I want my parents, my family to see me get married, because I think they're still quite traditional, because my parents are older, so they're like 2 generations removed from me, so they would love to see me get married as the only daughter. So I kind of like cling to that. It's like someone is out there.
Yeah.
Something is out there for me, and I will find it. I just have to slog through all the shit and all the fucked upness of what dating is, and especially modern dating. Did you ever see The Materialists?
I haven't yet.
Oh my god.
I haven't yet. But I talked to Sam about doing, like, a watch party.
Because we saw it.
See it. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So I was like, I wanted to,
We had thoughts. Because we were there, we were there for Pedro Pascal.
Of course.
Let's be honest.
Of course.
But we walked out with a very interesting perspective on modern dating.
That's
because
my understanding of it, yeah.
A lot of people, women in particular, but also men, which I really appreciated in that movie, they did a good job of, like, highlighting both men and women have unrealistic expectations when they're dating. And especially modern dating, because it gets into, well, now everyone has a list.
Yeah.
And if everyone doesn't fit, that's not to say...
Every little box.
That's not to say people didn't have lists before. Of course they do. But now it's just easier, because everything is laid out.
Yep.
So, for me, I have to just not despair and look to my friends and just hope that I will find that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I always loved the song Michael Bublé, I Just Haven't Met You Yet. I used to listen to it. I used to listen to it, like, all the time.
I love that song.
Like, and it was just like imagining that, like, somebody out there was listening to the song thinking about me too.
Yeah. Precisely.
Like, I always...
That's a great example.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, that's, like, how I, in the dark moments would be like, you know what? Like, it'll be okay. They're out there. And it brings me hope that I'm like, they're looking for me too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's... I remember exactly what you said earlier in the conversation, but it's just like... Your person is also just kind of sitting there doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Going out and seeing shows or whatever. Yeah. Doing things on their own. And you will find each other. Yeah. Because that's who you are, and, you know...
Exactly.
Yeah, so my person's out there.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Let's hope that you have a less and less racist, sexist...
Please,
dates,
love of God,
to get through before we go there. But
I had enough of it.
I also rest assured knowing that as soon as you smell it, you'll walk.
Yep. So. Yeah, I mean, and that's something that I think my younger self would pat myself on the back for now.
It's important to acknowledge that.
Yeah, because that poor girl, that poor young girl just did not have the tools.
Nah, none of us did.
None of us did, yeah. And I mean, even now, as I get older, it's hard to... Because, frankly, some guys get better at it, hiding it.
Yeah. And
that is terrifying.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, any last thoughts before we wrap up here? Any advice to listeners? Any pearls of wisdom? Any inspirational quote, perhaps? Speaking of, I have a book to tell you about that I think you'll really like, that I've been reading.
Ooh, okay. I would say it's kind of dark, but look for the evil.
Yeah, look for the evil numbers.
Look for the evil numbers. Put them in that box and file them away.
Yeah.
No, I would say, honestly, trust your gut.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Yep. Yeah, it really is, but that's not necessarily... Because I look at a lot of, like, self-defense videos and, like, all that, but my gut has saved me from a lot of things, like some literally I was in danger things to just the tamest awkward conversation, awkward things. Trust that, because your body will know.
Yep.
Oh, like what's isn't there a book like the
Body Keeps Score?
Yes, thank you. Body Keeps Score.
I knew exactly what you were going for.
Yep. I knew you'd know.
Yep.
I need to trust my gut, my intuition, and just trust that I have experience that is going to guide me through all the bullshit and hopefully guide me through to an oasis.
Yeah, an oasis of
yeah. I just want that person who, when I go home at the end of the night or come home from work, I walk in the door and I just breathe a sigh of relief. Yeah. That is what I'm looking for.
Yep. They make your life easier, not harder.
Exactly.
100%.
Like you can be yourself, warts and all. Because that's another thing that I just want to kind of end on. It's in terms of advice, maybe for the guys out there, most for the guys, don't put women on a pedestal.
Oh God.
I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys, and maybe there is a romantic way to do that. I don't know. But, and especially when you're fetishized, because I found that with a lot of the guys who have those racist thoughts that Asian women are supposed to be perfect and never have a foot out of the line. They put them on a pedestal, and all you're doing is setting the woman, whoever she is, race, whatever, to tumble off of it.
Yeah.
You're putting her on a very insecure structure that you have built because you think you know her, or you're building a structure that's a shell you're expecting her to fill, and it's just going to crumble. Yeah. So don't do it.
No one can live up to that.
No one should, because then they're not giving you space to be human. Yeah. They're not giving you space to be a full person. They're making you a nice trophy.
So advice to everyone, don't put people on a pedestal, but also don't try to be on a pedestal. Which I have definitely tried to do
precisely.
Before, so.
Yeah, that goes with the perfectionism, people pleasing. I was like, I can stay on this pedestal. Yep. You put me up there, I can stay there. I can do all these things. I can be perfect.
Oh, I did it for 4 years. Yeah. I was like,
I know you did.
I was like,
I watched it.
Stay up here.
Yep.
No, don't do it. You'll end up in the emergency room.
Yep. Literally and figuratively.
Yes. The emergency room of life. Oh God.
Just don't do it. I honestly did not even consider that side of it. It's like women who keep themselves on there. Yep. Don't do that either, because that's what I did.
Yep.
Don't put anyone up there. Don't stay up there.
Just be real.
Just keep your feet firmly planted on the ground, and dig up that bar from hell.
Yep. Force it.
Force it.
Okay.
That's what I'd say.
Well, Laura, thank you so much for coming on here and chatting with me. I hope it wasn't as scary as you thought that it would be.
No. The wine certainly helps.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for being one of my final guests.
Yes, this is quite an honor. And also bittersweet.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to put my focus elsewhere for a while. Maybe not forever, but for a while.
No, I'm glad I got a chance to be a part of this.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you for giving me the confidence.
Yeah, no, I knew you could do it.
Or the encouragement, I should say, to join.
I knew you could do it.
Yeah, thank you.
Alrighty, everybody. Listeners, thank you for tuning in today. You have been listening to Wine, Dine, and 69. I am your host, Rachel Dalton, and let's keep talking.